Hello everybody, this is Joey Zhou, the Joey Zhou of the Zheng Art Channel and the Zheng Show. But right now today, I'm excited to tell everybody I come to Point Loma University of San Diego, the U.S. It is so beautiful places. When I met my guest, the Professor Dr. James Daichendt, I said the first thing I say, I'm jealous of you because here you work with just paradise places. Wow. So first I want to introduce my VIP guest. Today I have several guests. You will see the wonderful people. But first I want to introduce Dr. James Daichendt, please. Nice to meet you here. Today you are a little bit of host.
Oh, well,
Host. I want you to introduce our audience yourself.
It's good to be here with all of you, and thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Okay, James, you know, you have beautiful places, like I say, paradises. You have a beautiful office and really the sweet people, friendly people here. I say hello to him. So first question I will ask you, as a scholar of street art, what do you think is the relationship between street art and word art? How do you think street art has contributed to the word art today? And do you see it contributing in the future?
I appreciate the question because street art and the art world certainly have a lot to do with one another. But I think one of the reasons I love studying it as a professor is how street art relates so differently to people compared to the regular art world. Street art is something that you see in the neighborhoods that you walk within. It meets you where you are. You don't have to go into a gallery or a museum or pay some sort of ticket in order to see it. So street art is, I like to call it the art of the people. It's the work that we live with. It means something to our communities, and it will continue to have an influence because boy, the world is full of a lot of boring spaces, a lot of big concrete walls that need touches of humanity, and there are important things that artists want to say, and the best way to reach a lot of folks is to put it in the public square, so for folks to engage.
Okay, James, I have read the 2 of the 6 books you're reading, and one is Urban Canvas, the street art around the world, and another book is a biography on artist, the Robbie Conal. What do you want to communicate with your readers and through these books?
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you looking at my books and being interested in them. I think at the heart of every book that I write, I want folks to feel empowered to engage art, to think about it, to reflect about it in a more a deep way, to make a personal interaction. I think beyond that, with books like Robbie, who's right behind us on the TV, is I want to tell a story. I want to be able to share insights into where this work comes from and why it's so important to different artists. And to, I guess, underneath all of that is I think these folks that I write about are really important towards the history of art. And books and scholarship and that type of writing is an important way to document and to leave a legacy for other folks to understand how important these works are to our culture now, but also in the future.
Anyway, because you are a scholar, you are a professor to teach in the university, so you want to, through this book, is educate the young people to know what the street art is, right?
Oh, absolutely. So education is at the core of all of that, and yes, it's one thing to pass on that knowledge, but then it's another thing to ignite an interest in the area so they continue to want to learn beyond reading something that I've read.
Yes, I think so. So what I found interesting from your book is about Robbie Conal's book. Is that the foreword of the book is written by another well-known street artist, the Shepard Fairey. Do the street artists have the more opportunity to interact with each other more than traditional artists such as oil painting? After all, their art is much more open.
Sure, I understand what you're saying in terms of street artists perhaps interacting more than traditional artists. And while it's hard to make a generalization like that, I think it is important for artists to be aware of who has come before them, who's working within the context. And if you're putting your work outside, it's going to be alongside other artists, other graffiti artists or street artists. So it behooves a street artist to know who those other artists are, and there's a lot of advice, there's a lot you can learn by being part of the various street art communities around the world. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities for artists to engage, and it's not to say every single one does, but I think some of the best do.
So they can learn each other, they can know the information, they encourage, they can share of the passion and their points, yep. Right?
Absolutely. So sharing passion, tips, trips, education, encouragement, warnings of things not to do. But yeah, there's a lot of that.
Cool. Thank you for telling me. So today, the Robbie Conal LABA art seems to be more focused on the portraits of the U.S. political figures. Can we ask the Mr. Robbie Conal the question in person through this TV version? Hey, hello, Mr. Robbie Conal. I'm very nice to meet you here. So I just want to know, I have watched your interview with James from Facebook many times. You are really sensational because you gave me the portraits. I see some portraits very interesting and very funny, but it gives me the strong information. You use your own world, own language through your portraits to tell the people, tell the world the truth. So I want to know, why do you choose U.S. political figures for your portraits?
Well, one of my principles in making my art is to apply what I do best to what I care about most. And my own personal mandate for myself is American democracy with a small d. Not the Democrats, not the Republicans, but democracy itself. And when I started making these adversarial portraits of politicians, bureaucrats, televangelists, and global capitalists who I thought were abusing the large power that they had in the name of representative democracy in terms of the politicians, I got very upset. So I wanted to express myself in public about these public issues, about these politicians who I thought were harming democracy and abusing the democratic process, whether for greed or for their own power or whatever. So all my work started out as original oil paintings, but to communicate with regular people in public space about public issues, I translated the original oil paintings into thousands and thousands of street posters with accompanying, hopefully humorous, punning texts that would kind of make fun of them in public and bring them down a little bit to our level.
Okay, I got it. I got your point. So I know many artists, they create the new works, the new artwork that from passion. I want you very personal question. Where does your passion come from? Is come from because you pursue truth, or the passion come from you want to give the information to your audience, to the public. If the public like your portraits, you got passion. May I ask you, where does your passion come from?
It comes from my personal history, actually. Both my parents, I grew up in New York City, and both my parents were union organizers in the 1930s and 1940s and were very political. They were socialists. And so I got my concerns about the American political process with my mother's breast milk, just about, all my life. And when my parents found out that they had like a young artist, the only two things that I was actually ever interested in or could do well at all was play baseball and draw, make art. So baseball will only get you so far, even though like I'm a Dodger fan and I'm a lifelong Dodger fan. And I like the California Angels too because Jim likes them. But anyway, so one thing my parents did, because they were very busy saving the world from capitalist greed, was they were so busy that they sent me to art museums, like kids after school. Like if you growing up and you were like in elementary school, after school you go play in the park or you take your violin lessons or you do whatever you do. My parents sent me to the major museums in Manhattan. They considered them daycare centers for me. So I would be, if you can imagine, an 8-year-old wandering around the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Modern Art, the Whitney Museum, all by himself, 5 days a week after school. I absorbed a lot of information. I knew more about art history than I ever knew I knew. And when I finally decided that I would address the subject that I cared about most, democracy, in my art, I knew that there was a history of street postering and great political street artists. And so I started translating my paintings, adding text to them, hopefully humorous, because I used humor as my weapon, and started putting them up on the streets around major cities in the United States. And now I have a little guerrilla volunteer army of people in major cities around the country, and I take them on like non-sketto, total loss, garage band, rock and roll tours. I go and put them up with local people in major cities around the country, just to communicate with regular people on the streets. With the advent of this was before the internet, with the advent of the internet, there are many more opportunities to distribute images like this on all the social network platforms, including the one that we're on right now.
Another word I heard of before you created the political figures portraits, you do deep research. You have to understand totally their character, totally their stories, and you create it. That's why I get a point. So, Robbie, can I call you Robbie?
Of course.
Okay, Robbie. James, your friend, the Dr. James, just finished the important article called Dynamism, the Landscape, the Art of the Jiannan Huang, the China artist. And Mr. Huang is very interested in participating in the production of the street art documentary film. So I want him say hello to you and to Jim and introduce to each other. It's okay for you? I want to throw he is right now in the morning in China is already in the morning 3 or 4 o'clock. I contacted with them. You can see them. And he already met the James before. Okay. Hello, 黄老师. Hello. Yeah, we're just on TV. 好. Yeah. Say hello, James.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. This is Robin, Mr. Robin Conal. Okay, Robin, did you see Robin Conal? Yeah, he's a TV here. He's a TV. Did you see TV? 你看到了他在电视。对，好，我们现在对着电视镜头，你就不要动了。我们现在做一个连线。我想问你的是，黄老师，我们现在是在 Point Loma University， 圣地亚哥，美国的圣地亚哥。我想把你介绍给他们2位。那一位是圣地亚哥这个大学的教授，你都见过的。另外一个是美国著名的街头艺术家他毕业于斯坦福大学高材生，然后呢，他是美国享有盛名的街头艺术家。我想你跟他们都已经打了招呼。我想问你。熟悉街头艺术吗？ 中国有没有街头艺术 ？So I'm asking the question is, are you familiar with the street art? Does China have the street art? You like the question, right? Could you answer this question?
从人们比较熟悉的敦煌莫高窟笔法，也已经有1500多年历史了。
哇！
后来从考古发现呢，就是陕西石卯笔法，在全国范围来看，石卯笔法是中国早期笔法的制作工艺及绘画的技法，早在4000多年的史前时期便已经确立，可以说是称之为现代街头艺术的鼻祖了。
现在 James, do you have any question to ask Mr. Huang?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious what his recent projects are or what he's planning on working on in the near future.
我这个5月15号，中国那个国际交流中心有我一个个展，规格比较高的。这个结束以后，9月份可能要到瑞士洛桑奥组委总部博物馆有个个展。
哇！
展完了，要疫情要是好转呢，可能联合国教科文组织巴黎总部要给我搞的个展，就是洛桑的前后要搞的，到现在拖了1年多了，已经确立手续都办了，还没搞嘛。
OK。
就条件允许也办了。还有中国10月份中国国家美术馆我的个展也要办，也是去年拖到现在的了，所以的计划很多，还要去美国呢。
So Mr. Huang, 你有什么问题问他们2个艺术家？一个是 James， 你都很熟悉的，还有一个就是Mr. Robbie Conal 是美国享有盛名的街头艺术家，大腕大咖啊，他的画都在几百万，在美国，跟你一样几百万。OK， 第一个问题你要问James, what question you want? He said
问题
啊，
要就是我们要多点交流嘛，以后有机会见面技术交流嘛，多点互相学习啦，向他们学习啦啊。
Oh, he said, "Hey, Mr. Huang, do you have any question to ask the James?" And Mr. Robin, he said he's lovely to communicate with you, interact with you. If I come to United States, I want you more interactive with you, or welcome you come to China. 你是欢迎他们到中国来跟你一起交流，对不对？
对呀，最好啊，我肯定请他们来啊，这个费用我都包啊，只要他来。
Oh my goodness, that's so kind for you. Thank you. He said, welcome both you to go to China. They cover you everything. Commentation, everything. You don't worry about anything. So, Mr. Robin, do you have any question to ask Mr. Huang?
I do. How can I get to see your work?
他在哪里可以看到你的作品？Mr. Robin asked. 可以在哪里看到？
在中国比较多咯，在其他国家，法国的也有，但是在那个什么了，那个哈尔辛基那个。
He said 他主要是想看照片，应该是在我们LABA的官网可以，对不对？LABA的官网有你很多，对。Okay, Robin, if you go to www.thebeverlyarts.com, there is his platform. There LABA and the platform www.thebeverlyarts.com. Also, you go to the art price. There are a lot of the works about him, and the original artworks he will mail to us maybe 3 original soon to our LABA. He's our LABA blue chips artist. Right now he's our LABA consulting advisor and our artist LABA. So you will see original and you can go to www.thebeverlyarts.com. And today James will give his books And where's your books? The books. 你不要放手，我们这会儿就举行个仪式。这个 James 现在就在现场给你他的书。One book is about about the word, the art, the urban, the colloquial, and there was another book about the Mr. Robin. So James wants a signature. Could you, James, right now?
Book. I have one of the books. Robbie wrote the foreword to this book, and
Yeah, right. He will give this one to you right now. 他正在签名，然后把这个给你。你们不能握手了，只能在空中这个签名。我们今天给你的采访就差不多结束了啊。你看到他的签名了吗？送这个书签名，看到了。OK。
Congratulations on your show May 15th. I hope it all goes very, very well, and I hope the world gets to see it. We're really looking forward to everything that you produce, and especially so soon in May. That would be wonderful. I can't wait to see it.
哇，他说的太漂亮了。稍，你跟他们说个再见，我们就结束今天的访问了。谢谢黄老师。
好，再见，拜拜。
He said bye bye, bye bye. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, Mr. Robbie Conal, I really want to call you Robbie. Then right now my audience fan all know you. You are really sweet, the artist. Even your portraits right now.
We're best friends now, right?
We're best friends, yes. Yes. So, well, today we can be called Los Angeles Beijing and Beijing Los Angeles International Collection. Art should have no distance and borders. Art is truly international language. So thank you, Dr. James Chen and Mr. Robbie Conal, especially Mr. Jiannan Huang, and who is far away from Beijing. I hope we will get together, like the Robin said, next time because of the art, because of the tools. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, everybody. This is Zhou Zheng Show and Zhou Zheng Art Channel.